Hey there, Alexandra here. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to line up a new coloring book page for my website, and I thought we could talk a bit about creativity and authenticity as an artist. And I was thinking, what better person to reference other than Bob Dylan? I've recently watched the movie about his life, A Complete Unknown, and honestly, I was completely blown away. I didn't know a lot about him, to be honest. I only knew some of his songs. I left the cinema so very inspired, and this gave me the idea also to talk about it, to talk about how he managed to to stick to his own path during his career. So let's talk about it. I'm gonna try not to give any spoilers, but I just have to preface this that there might be some spoilers. So if you haven't watched the movie, The Art of Reinvention. Throughout his artistic pursuit, Bob always seems to experiment, and you can see through his entire career that he is not tied down to only one style. He started singing folk in New York in '61, attributing this influence to Woody Guthrie, one of his idols that is showcased in the movie as well. And he says, I was pretty fanatical about what I wanted to do. So after learning about 200 of Woody's songs, I went to see him and waited for the right moment to visit him in a hospital in Morristown, New Jersey. I took a bus from New York, sat with him, and sang his songs. So even from this, you could see his determination and pretty much his insanity. Imagine you as an artist in this day and age. You have an idol and you pretty much stalk him and you go after him and you're trying to sing his songs. That's determination and a bit of insanity. So he went from folk and then he introduced later some R&B influences, and then he took a more rock approach, which pissed off a lot of his hardcore folk fans, but it was welcomed with great enthusiasm by pop and rock fans. He even had a phase in his career where he launched Christian music albums after Dylan announced that he was a born-again Christian. The releases were greeted with confusion and with a lot of harsh reviews by critics. The main constant in this journey, though, was always Bob Dylan's writing. The thing that I think outshines all of these music phases and paths is the lyricism behind his songs. I don't think you have to be a big Bob Dylan fan to admit that he writes like no one. It's poetry. To sum this up, I think this ability to not give a fuck and pursue whatever creative path you want to take, especially when you're a well-established artist and the pressure is high. Maybe you have a label behind, you have managers, and that's truly inspiring. I feel like Bob Dylan is the David Lynch of the musical sphere. David Lynch is yet another great example of not caring and beating to your own drum no matter how he would be perceived. Expectations or authenticity. To allow yourself to explore and choose different paths and therefore embracing the unknown over and over again, it takes a lot of courage and it's a huge inspiration. In today's day and age, especially, somehow I think it's even harder to keep choosing whatever path you want to choose. Because think about it. In the era of viral moments, 5 minutes of fame, becoming a huge success overnight, this can seem downright scary. How do you remain authentic when you have all of these expectations waiting for you? How do you embrace your authenticity when an algorithm tells you that you should create this in order to be pushed to larger audiences? In this age of endless inspiration and endless possibilities, how do you remember to be you? And how do you stay true to yourself? The mystery behind Bob Dylan's creativity. Bob Dylan never seems to explain his art. His art seems to be here to experience you, as well as David Lynch. He never tries to explain his movies. Honestly, yes, you should feel whatever you need to feel. Think whatever you need to think. I notice in today's modern art, a lot of times, probably you've seen it too, when you go see some modern painter, there's a novel worth of explanation of what the artist meant to do. But where is your experience then? If you have to read an explanation to understand what you're seeing, what's the point? If you have to be told what to feel, what is the point? Shouldn't you arrive to those conclusions alone? It seems so sterile, like you're mounting an IKEA dresser. You need to read the steps and instructions to get to a mediocre result. I think what I'm trying to say is that this makes the art lose its authenticity and the artist lose its authenticity. It feels more like a pre-packaged meal rather than vegetables you used to make your meal. What do you think of this perspective? Should artists explain their art, or should the art be let alone to the eyes of the beholder? And also, what do you think of Bob Dylan? I hope you enjoyed this. I sure do enjoy creating little commentaries like this while I paint or create different designs. It makes the video more interesting for me, and I hope for you. And I love that we get to cover different topics. If you enjoyed this, a subscribe and like helps lots. And if you like the coloring page, it will be available on my website, probably is at the time of publishing. Until next time, take care of your creative minds. Bye!